So we're going out of lockdown, and praise the Lord for that. So we've got some people helping with adjusting got a new projector bulb. But right now I need to make a change in the M5 sticks because we changed one of the IPs on the server on the live stream computer. So we need to modify that. So I will show you how to actually use the script that you download to modify that, get it hooked up to your Wi-Fi, and be able to compile that and upload it to the M5 sticks. The M5 sticks are attached to let me show you the iPad there. So this is the iPad that we have here, and on the back of it we have the M5 sticks. So it just is on with double-sided tape on there, and the M5 stick will be, the light will come on when the iPad camera is active there. So you just basically connect, there's a USB cable, USB-C that connects there. So I'm just going to hook that up to the computer, and then I will show you how you modify the script to hook it up to your network and get things set up with the settings there, and then I'll walk you through some of the things that I had to do to get everything compiled, so that it took me a little bit to get things all set up properly. It was a little tricky, but hopefully you won't have to go through the same thing. So the first thing that you need to do is to download the Arduino software. So the link is in the description of the video and also the blog post that I have. And so it's here, Arduino/en/software. And this is the page here. And then you can download it depending on the platform that you're using. I'm using Windows, so we'll click on the Windows here. Then it gives you the opportunity to contribute if you want to, or you can just click and download. So I'm just going to do just download. So once it has downloaded, you just need to extract the zip file and run the install program that's in the zip. And once you have that done, then you can run the Arduino package. The next thing that you need to do is actually download the M5Stick sketch for Arduino. So the code is here. I'll leave the link in the description of the video and blog post as well. And this will be up here at the GitHub repository there. So github.com Joseph and TallyArbiter M5Stick C listener. And then what we need to do is just click here again, click on the code green button there, and then we click the download zip to download it. And then you're just going to extract the zip to a spot on your hard drive. And then you're just going to actually open the Arduino file in your Arduino IDE. So this is the actual Arduino file. And once you have that set up, the first thing that you're going to need to do is you're going to need to
install the library, or actually the board for the ESP32 boards. So you need to go to File and Preferences, and then you need to install additional board managers here. And so there's a place link that you can download the ESP32 boards there. Again, I will put the link in the description of the video. You can grab that and put it here in the additional board manager URLs. So just stick that in this text box there, and then click OK. Then you're going to go to Tools here, and you're going to go to Boards and Board Manager. And here you're going to, in the types, you're just going to type in ESP32. And I've already got it installed, but you're going to see that you need to install it. And so you're going to select, I've got the latest version installed. I can install other versions there, but you just want to install the latest version. I can install another one there. You click on that, and then you just basically select the latest version of what you want to install, and then you just click the install button and it will install the proper board there. And so once you have it installed properly, then you can close the board manager, and then you're going to go back up to boards, and then you're going to select the board here, ESP32 Arduino, and then you're going to find in here the M5Stick board and select that as the type in the list of boards. So M5Stick C is the one that I have there, so you select that. Once you have the board selected, that is what you need in order to connect to the actual board when you actually hook up with the cable. The next thing that you need to do is there are some libraries that need to be installed that when you actually compile this sketch, it will need those libraries. And so in order to do that, you need to, up at the top here, these ones that say include, you just need to install these libraries here. And in order to do that, you would just go to Tools and then Manage Libraries. And so once you open that window, then you can search for each of the libraries that have the word in with the number sign include there. So we have include M5Stick C or M5Stick C+, depending on the version of the M5Stick that you get. The M5Stick C+ has a larger screen, or you have the M5Stick C, which is a smaller screen. Now, I will tell you in a little bit that you need to do one more thing depending on the different type of whether you get the C or the C+. So in order to install that library, you're just going to type in M5Stick C, and it will search for the libraries there. And so you see I've got the M5Stick C library there, and I also installed the M5Stick C+ there. And you just again select the latest version of the library, and then you would click the install button, and it will install the library that you need to the one that you're selecting there. So once you do that, you've got that. And so you just need to select all of those for all of the different libraries there. Let's do another one here, Wi-Fi. So we'll just search for Wi-Fi. And we'll see there's the Wi-Fi library. And again, just make sure there's multiple versions. You're going to get the latest version that's installed. And so you just install all of the different libraries that are required for the sketch to work properly. So once they are all installed, then the next step is to actually configure the sketch so that the M5Stick can hook up to your network. The one thing I will tell you before that, and this was a gotcha that I actually had, depending on whether you got if you have an M5Stick C or the C+, you need to, up at the top here, it says define C+, 0 or 1. And the way that you need to do is, if you have the C+ stick, then you want to set this to a 1, and then it will use the C+ library instead of the C library. So I have the C, so we'll keep that to 0, and then it will use the proper library for the board that you have. That took me a while because I didn't realize that we had to set that setting up at the top. The next setting that you need to do is set up your network settings, which is down here, which will basically set up your Wi-Fi. And so I've got the network SSID and network password set up for that. If you do want to run a static IP address, then you can set up the use static, set that to true, and then you can set the IP address and subnet and gateway settings for that. I don't use that, but you can set it up that way if you wish to as well. The final thing that you need to do is set up the settings for your TallyArbiter server. And so that would be the IP address of the TallyArbiter server. So this is where my TallyArbiter server is running on the system. And by default, the port is 4455, as you will remember in the previous tutorial that we had. So you can access it on the local host if you're on the same machine, or if you have, the IP address, and you can access it from a different computer, as long as you know the IP address of the computer that it is running on. So this is how the listening sticks, the M5 sticks, are going to connect, because you need to know the IP address of the computer that is running the TallyArbiter server. So once you set that up, then you can connect the server, or the M5 stick, up to it with you just use here just with the USB cable that you use, and then once that's hooked up, then you can then use the upload button, which will compile it. So this is here the upload button, and so once you click on that, then here down at the bottom it will compile it and upload it. You can see the device was reset. So now we can actually go to the Tally Arbiter server, either on your IP address that we had talked about previously, or this is on my same computer there. So I can go to it with the local host there. I can look at the settings, and now we're going to have down here under connected listeners, this is the new device, the M5Stick, as a new IP address there, M5Stick C, and it's automatically connected to, it'll automatically, the first time it's connected, will connect to the first device and listen to whatever is the first device on the system. And if you want to switch it to another device, you can just use the drop down here to switch it to whichever device you want to do. And so we'll switch it to stage left there. And then I will show you the way that we can do a demonstration on that.
So once you have the program uploaded to the M5Stick, you can put the M5Stick, attach it to the camera, and then you can put it up to where the camera actually is going to go. I will show you how we have it. So this is how the camera is attached to the iPad that we have at the front. So it's attached to a tripod here, and then we have one of the PTZ is a remote controlled pan tilt mount there, and it works fairly well. I would suggest that definitely you need to, it's almost a little bit too heavy for the iPad, but it works well, and I've got the remote here for it, and so this is the remote, and you can make it go left or right here, and then move it up or down to tilt it certain ways to get the angle, so that will allow us to control it that way. And then on the other side we have here, this is where the stick is mounted with the double-sided tape there. And the one thing that I will mention is that the M5Stick's batteries do not last very long. So what we have is we've got this adapter plugged into the lightning port there, and then this adapter gives us network cable plus USB there to power the M5Stick, and so that will work there. So I've got the iPad that we use at the back of the church to switch the camera angles here, and this is the stage right, so I will just turn that one on there, and that is now activated. And then you can see that the M5Stick, once it's set up in the TallyArbiter system, will turn red when it becomes active there. So we have a couple of those set up in the system. If I were to switch away from the active stage right camera there with the iPad here, let's switch it to the sound booth camera here, then you'll see that the light goes off on the camera. And so that's how, with the connected listeners in the TallyArbiter system, that works.
If you wish to pick up some M5 sticks, I've got some links to where you can pick some up in the video description or the blog post. So I hope that you found this tutorial interesting, and you might be able to use it in your church or ministry. Thanks for watching.